The Atlanta Hawks have an up-and-coming star, Jalen Johnson, who's starting to look like a walking triple-double. Johnson has become the new franchise player for the Hawks after they traded away Trae Young. But this new team is honestly looking pretty good. They have a lot of potential. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's having a breakout season, averaging 20 points per game. Dyson Daniels is an amazing perimeter defender. Okongwu has developed into a really good floor-spacing big man who's shooting 38% from the three-point line. And we do still have ourselves Zachary Richer, the former first overall pick. In my opinion, he has a lot of potential to develop into a good 3-and-D player. And last but not least, let's not forget about Jonathan Kuminga, who was just traded to the Hawks at the trade deadline. With the opportunity we're going to be able to give Kuminga, he should develop into a really good player. He's only 23 years old, so he fits our timeline perfectly. I'm excited to see how things go here in the future, but I will be changing Kuminga's position from power forward to small forward, where he does go up to an 80 overall. At the time of this recording, the Hawks are the number 9 seed with a total of 28 wins and 31 losses, so hopefully we're able to make a playoff push and make it into the playoffs. And as of right now, we will be rolling with a 9-man rotation, and in our starting lineup we have Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Richer, Jalen Johnson, and Okongwu. And off the bench we have CJ McCollum, Jonathan Kuminga, Jock Landale, and Asa Noel. Before I simulate, I would really appreciate it if y'all could drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That really does support my video and channel a ton. Plus, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button. The first game of this video is up against the Washington Wizards. Can we go on to defeat them? And yes, we can. 139-97, and Jalen Johnson dropped 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 23. Kuminga in his Hawks debut goes off, dropping 21 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. The next game is also up against the Washington Wizards, and we do once again go on to defeat them, this time scoring 142 points. Jalen Johnson 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, 34 points, 26 from CJ, 24 from Zachary Richer. Kuminga had himself 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And as of right now, we will be rolling with a 3.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Quinn Snyder. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where hopefully we go on to make the playoffs. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win an MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Hami Hawkes 6-man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Buzelis Most Improved, Cade Cunningham Clutch Player, JB Bickerstaff Coach of the Year, and the OKC Thunder win Executive of the Year. We do get ourselves Jalen Johnson on All-NBA First Team. That is what I'm talking about. That means he may have been in the award races to winning an MVP. Let's see if we have any more selections here. Do we get anyone on an All-Defensive Team? And sadly, we do not. But getting Jalen Johnson on All-NBA First Team is a huge W for us. It looks like we do end up making the play-in. I thought we made the playoffs as a 6 seed, but clearly we're the 7 seed in the play-in tournament. I have fixed up the player minutes for our team, and now in the play-in tournament, we will be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. They have themselves Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Kelly Oubre Jr., Paul George, and Joel Embiid. They were the number 8 seed. Let's jump into Simcast and see if we can defeat this team. We will have home court advantage on our side, and so far we do have the lead by quite a bit, and we do end up winning 149-118. Jalen Johnson dropped 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists, 22 from CJ McCollum, and 20 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Let's go. And that means we go on to make the playoffs. It looks like in the first round, we will be taking on the Boston Celtics, who have themselves Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Nikola Vucevic. They were the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Let's see if we can go on to defeat the Boston Celtics here. Game number 1 will go to the Celtics. They defeat us here 152-132. Okongwu played amazing, so did CJ, but sadly our defense was pretty awful. Game number 2 also goes to the Celtics, 127-121. Johnson had 25, 23 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but what I will do now is come up with a defensive coach game plan. Alrighty, I've come up with a defensive coach game plan. We are down 2-0. Can we come back from this? In game 3, we'll also go to the Boston Celtics. They win here 142-127. It looks like our team may not be ready to be defeating contenders like the Boston Celtics just yet. What about game 4? And we do end up getting swept to the Celtics. That really sucks. I would have hope for at least one win, but sadly we do not get that. It was the first time the Hawks' young core has made it all the way to the playoffs, so at least we'll take that as a win. This offseason, there will be progression from our younger players. I may pull off some trades, bring in some new talent, and hopefully that'll make us better next time around. But now let's simulate through the playoffs and see who goes on to win the championship. It will be the Spurs taking on the Pistons, and Victor Wembanyama goes on to win with the Spurs, and Wemby wins Finals MVP. Let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs on our team. We only played 4 games, but in those 4 games, Jalen Johnson was playing amazing. 22 points per game, 7 rebounds, 11 assists while shooting 46% from the field. 19 from Na, 18 from Okongwu, and 18 from CJ McCollum. This offseason in free agency, we are going to be able to free up a lot of salary. CJ McCollum is on an expiring contract, and the same for Gabe Vincent. I believe we still have him somewhere here, and yes, we do. 11 million will be freed up from Gabe Vincent, and 30 million will be freed up from CJ McCollum, so we'll possibly have about $40 million we could play with here in free agency. I had no clue that we were going to end up with a lottery pick, but we have the New Orleans Pelicans first round pick, and I believe that pick was acquired by the Atlanta Hawks in the DeJounte Murray trade. I hope that's not lottery protected. Let's go ahead and see where that lands. Let's go ahead and skip past it. We end up with the 2nd overall pick via Milwaukee. And where did the Pelicans pick go? I don't know how we ended up with the 2nd overall pick, but I'll take it. Okay, so now this is making a little bit more sense here. The Bucks ended up with a New Orleans pick, which means there must have been a trade between the Hawks and the Bucks in the past, which was a swap best for a swap worse. And now we end up with a 2nd overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft. I've thought long and hard about what we're going to be doing with the 2nd overall pick, and I don't want to draft a player and wait many seasons just for him to develop and go up in overall. So we're going to go ahead and draft a player, but then we'll use that player to flip in a different trade where we could bring in some talent to help us win now. Now let's go to the NBA draft and see which player we're going to be drafting. The 1st overall pick the Mavericks have, and they take Darren Peterson. Okay, so that means we're going to be drafting ourselves probably AJ DeBonsa or Cameron Boozer, and I do believe Cameron Boozer will have a higher trade value. So let's go ahead and draft Cameron Boozer, but again, we will be flipping him. We also have the 22nd overall pick and a 2nd rounder, which I'm going to be trading to the Detroit Pistons, where we get ourselves 2 future 1st round picks. Now for team player options, it looks like the CPU doesn't want us to pick up the team option on Jonathan Kuminga because he's on a $25 million contract. I do think we could get him for a lot cheaper in free agency, and that's what I'm going to try and do. We will pick up the team option on Zachary Rizachet, but we're going to let Jonathan Kuminga walk. Hopefully we have bird rights on him, because if not, that will suck. We'll basically be losing him for nothing. Qualifying offers, we don't need either of these players. And now let's see if we have bird rights on Kuminga, and thankfully we do have bird rights on him. He wants about $23 million, a little less than what we would have been paying him otherwise. I thought we would have a little bit more money to play with here in free agency, especially since CJ McCollum's $30 million and Gabe Vincent's $11 million is not on our books, but clearly we don't. Like, these are the best players that we could sign. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and give CJ McCollum a 2-year contract. He was a good 6-man for our bench unit, so hopefully we'll keep him around as our 6-man. Jonathan Kuminga, I'm going to go ahead and offer a 4-year contract, but we'll try lowering this down to about $20 million. It looks like both players will be accepting. We get Jonathan Kuminga on a 4-year, $89 million contract. We also get CJ McCollum on a 2-year, $21 million contract. I would also like to get ourselves a good defensive backup center. I'm going to try giving Mitchell Robinson a contract. We'll offer him a 2-year deal, $3.8 million. I would like there to be a good defensive big man behind Okongwu. It looks like Mitchell Robinson will be accepting on a 2-year, $7.8 million contract. It is now time to trade away our rookie Cameron Boozer. As much as I would like for him to be a part of our future, I don't want to wait all the seasons it would take for him to develop. I do want to upgrade the starting point guard position from Dyson Daniels, and there's 2 trades I have in mind. One would be with the San Antonio Spurs, where we get ourselves De'Aaron Fox, but the problem with this is the San Antonio Spurs would be way too OP if we send them this trade package. So I think this trade here with the Denver Nuggets makes most sense, where we land ourselves Jamal Murray as a brand new point guard. We don't need Peyton Watson, so let me make a few adjustments and I'll show you guys what I come up with. I'm going to be pulling off this trade where we send them Cameron Boozer, Dyson Daniels, and Corey Kispert. In return, we bring in Jamal Murray to be our brand new starting point guard. The reason I want someone like Jamal Murray is Jalen Johnson needs help in that starting lineup. We don't really have a good consistent scorer beside him, but Jamal Murray should be able to step up and score when we need him to. Now here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have ourselves Jamal Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Risacher, Jalen Johnson, and Okongwu. And then off the bench, we have Jonathan Kuminga, CJ McCollum, Mitchell Robinson, and Azza Noel. Our team is looking a lot more well-rounded than it was last season. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season and see how we do. We have 3 games and we go on to win 2 out of the 3. We scored 151 points against the Magic. Nickeil dropped 36 points, Murray with 28, Risacher with 21, Jalen Johnson had 19 points and 10 rebounds, but he did foul out in 17 minutes. For this season, we will be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency perimeter-centric under Quinn Snyder. And so far our boy Jalen Johnson's averaging 25 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. And mind you, he did end up fouling out in one of the 3 games we played. Jamal Murray here with this new team is playing amazing as well, 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. This season we have made it to the NBA Cup Finals. Let's see if we can go on to win. We will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's jump into Simcast here and see what happens. The Timberwolves do have home court advantage, and so far they have the lead, and sadly we do fall short, 127 to 119. Johnson played amazing, so did Risacher, but sadly our defense was not there. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and I'm attempting to pull off a trade with the Indiana Pacers. They're currently the number 8 seed, so maybe they're trying to make some changes to make a push for the playoffs, and we also need to upgrade our center position. So I'm going to be offering the Indiana Pacers Mitchell Robinson and CJ McCollum in return for Via Zubac, and let's see what they say. So they accept the trade, no first round picks included. And since that felt like too big of a finesse, I'm going to go ahead and give the Pacers a first round pick. In return, we get ourselves a second rounder. Zubac is a good player, and I believe he would at least be worth 1 first rounder. And after that trade, let me give you guys a quick little rundown of what we're going to be doing here. So majority of the lineup will remain the same in our starters, except Zubac will be the brand new starting center, and it's pretty simple why. He's a better defender than Okongwu, and this season our defense hasn't been all that good. So now what we're going to do with Okongwu is have him be our 6th man. He's basically going to be our Naz Reid. The same way the Minnesota Timberwolves use Naz Reid, we're going to be using Okongwu as a backup center / power forward. And then another addition we had to make is put Luke Kennard coming off of the bench, playing about 10 minutes per game. As our backup point guard, Luke Kennard has been playing awful, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and sign Scottie Pippen Jr., who currently is a free agent. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal minimum, which he goes on to accept, and now I'm going to run Scottie as the backup point guard over Luke Kennard. And at the end of this season, our boy Jalen Johnson goes on to win MVP, averaging 27 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1.5 steal, and 1 block while shooting 57% from the field. In the award races, it had showed Victor Wembanyama to win, so I thought Johnson wouldn't be winning, but this is huge. Darren Peterson, Rookie of the Year, Cameron Boozer, who we traded away, ends up winning 6th Man of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player, Banchero, Most Improved, LaMelo Ball, Clutch Player, Quinn Snyder, Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive. And of course, the MVP Jalen Johnson makes it on All NBA First Team. Let's go. Let's see if we have any more selections here, and it looks like no more All-NBAs. Do we get anyone on an All-Defensive team? We do get ourselves Jalen Johnson on All-Defensive Second Team. That is what I'm talking about. That will be it for awards, but we ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 60 games and losing only 22. The Jamal Murray trade has also helped out our team a ton, and then obviously Jalen Johnson took a huge step offensively as well. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season. The leading scorer on our team was none other than the MVP, Jalen Johnson, averaging 27 points per game. Then we had Jamal Murray averaging 22 on really good shooting splits, 16 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 14 from Okongwu, and 13 from Zachary Risache. Kuminga has been playing pretty well for us as well as the sixth man. He's averaging 13 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. His three-point shot has been a struggle, but he is shooting 50% from the field. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Indiana Pacers, the same team we pulled off a massive trade with, bringing in Via Zubac. They have themselves Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Kelly Oubre Jr., Pascal Siakam, and Mitchell Robinson, and this is their bench unit. They do have themselves a pretty stacked bench, I'm not gonna lie. They were the number 7 seed from the looks of things. Game number 1 will go to us. Murray dropping 26, 21 from Risache, and 20 from Nah. Game number 2 we also end up winning. Let's go. Murray with 41, Jalen Johnson with a 25-point triple-double, 16 rebounds, and 17 assists. We are up 2-0. Let's see if we can make that 3-0, and we do not do that. We do end up falling short here, 135 to 129. Johnson had a 35-point triple-double, Murray with 25 and 11, but sadly we do fall short. Game number 4 will go to us though. Let's go. Nah leading the way here with 32 points, and so far Nah is averaging 22 here in the playoffs. 26 from Murray and a 20-point double-double from Johnson. Can we, gentlemen, sweep the Pacers? And yes, we can. Jalen Johnson goes off here for 41 points, and so far he's averaging a 27-point triple-double in the playoffs. Murray is averaging 28 points per game. It looks like in the second round we will be taking on the Brooklyn Nets. They have themselves Nolan Traore, Austin Reeves, Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and Walker Kessler. It looks like the Brooklyn Nets just threw in a bunch of role players in their lineup, and it looks like it's working so far. They are the number 4 seed, made it all the way to the second round of the playoffs. Austin Reeves is not a role player, well he kind of is, but he could be a number 1 option in my opinion. Let's see what happens here in the second round. Game number 1 will go to us. Nah leading the way here with 32 points, 26 and 13 from Jalen Johnson. Can we also go on to win game 2? And yes, we can. JJ goes off here with a 38-point triple-double. I don't know if anyone calls Jalen Johnson JJ, but that would be a pretty good, cool nickname to have for him. He goes off here with a 38-point triple-double, 24 from both Murray and Risache. So far here in the playoffs, we've only lost 1 game. Game number 3, we also end up winning. Double J goes off here with 37, 7, and 11. I keep wanting to call him Triple J because of Triple J, but I always forget he's Jalen Johnson. He does not have that nickname. Jamal Murray with a 27-point double-double. And are we going to sweep the Brooklyn Nets? Yes, we will. Okongwu led the way here with 28 and 10. How's Okongwu been doing? He's playing phenomenal as that 6th man. 14 points per game, 10 rebounds, 1 block on 50, 40, 70 shooting splits. Now we've made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're either going to be taking on the Pistons or the New York Knicks, and it will be the Detroit Pistons. They have themselves Cade Cunningham, Cam Thomas. It looks like they may have signed or traded for Cam Thomas here. Sar Thompson, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. In the Western Conference Finals, it's the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game number 1 will go to us. Murray goes off here for 40 points. Holy, 34 from Johnson and 21 from Nah. Game number 2 will end up going to the Detroit Pistons, sadly. They win here by 10 points. Murray had 30, Johnson with 23, but that was not enough. The series is now tied at 1-1 apiece. Let's see if we can win game 3, which yes, we can. Nickeil Alexander-Walker led the way, dropping 27, Johnson with a 26-point double-double. Game number 4 will also go to us. Murray with 35, 17, 10, and 6 from Jalen Johnson. All we gotta do now is win 1 more game, and then we'll be going to the NBA Finals. Let's jump into Simcast here. We do have home court advantage on our side. Can we get this win? Let's see. Close game, 4 minutes remaining, 2:18. We're up by 8. Can we keep this lead? It looks like we can. We are up by 10 points, 1 minute remaining, and we end up winning 128 to 119. Murray dropped 35 points, 25, 12, and 10 from Jalen Johnson. And it looks like in the NBA Finals we're either going to be taking on the San Antonio Spurs or the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs are up 3-1 and it will be the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, Jalen Johnson Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 25 points per game, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 1 block on 50, 40, 76 shooting splits. The San Antonio Spurs have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Taylor Hendricks, and Victor Wembanyama. It looks like they do have Dylan Harper and Keldon Johnson still coming off of their bench unit. And I was taking a look at how Victor Wembanyama has been doing here in the playoffs, and you guys are not going to believe it. He's only averaging 12 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists while shooting 16% from the three-point line and 44% from the field. If we can continue playing good defense on him like this, we should be able to win this series. It looks like Rudy Gobert played amazing defense on him, and before that, Derek Lively II, and before that, somehow Jokic had him locked up as well. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to the Spurs, and against us, obviously he goes off for 31 points. Johnson had a 39-point triple-double, but we do fall short. Game number 2 will go to us. Ricochet with 26, 23 from Murray, and 23 from Nah. Johnson had himself 21, 11, and 8. Game number 3 will go to the San Antonio Spurs, and somehow it looks like Wemby has found his shot against our team. Jalen Johnson had 32 points, 20 rebounds, and 12 assists. What I am going to do is come up with the defensive coach game plan, and then we'll advance to Game 4. I've come up with the defensive coach game plan. I also changed up our rotation. We will be running a 8-man rotation instead of a 9-man. Ozzy Noel was not playing well whatsoever, so he won't be a part of this rotation. But let's jump into Simcast and see what we could do. The Spurs will have home court advantage here, and so far we do have the lead, but can we keep it as a question? And it looks like we will be winning this game 156-126. And Jamal Murray went off for 43 points and 17 assists. Jalen Johnson with a 33-point double-double, 27 from Ricochet. Now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Hopefully we're able to win this next game and go up 3-2. We will have home court advantage on our side. And so far the Spurs do have the lead. They are up by quite a bit, and it looks like they will be winning sadly here, 130-117. Murray played amazing. I do believe I'm going to up the shot tendency on Jamal Murray after this game. He's been playing way too well to keep his shot tendency at a 90. I'm going to put it up all the way to 99. Maybe he'll start going off even more. Kel Alexander 29 and 25, 11 from Johnson. We have to win this next game to push it to a Game 7. Let's jump into Simcast. It looks like the Spurs will have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead. We do start off the first half really strong, and we end up winning this game 132-103. Jamal Murray goes off for 44 points, 25 from Okongwu, 23 from Nickel, and 22 from Johnson. And I did end up raising Jamal Murray's shot tendency. That's probably why he scored 44 points. Hopefully he can continue that here into Game 7. Thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side. So far we do have the lead. Can we keep it as a question? We're up by 18 here going into the fourth quarter. We do have the lead by quite a bit. It looks like we will be winning this game. I am going to jump in, let you guys see some gameplay. Let's see how this team would play if together in real life. We will be running on the pro difficulty. Let's see if we can jump in and get ourselves some buckets. I want to get some buckets with Jalen Johnson, see what we could do with him. Right now, I believe Keldon Johnson has the ball. He gives it out to Harper, who does not take that 3. He is driving up, and he gets basically a wide open layup. Zachary Ricochet did not do all that much defensively there. Where is Johnson? There he is in the corner, wide open. Well, not wide open, kind of wide open, but he does end up going to miss that, sadly. I did think that would have been a wide open shot, but clearly it wasn't. Okay, so it looks like, who was that? Stephon Castle ends up hitting a 3-pointer. Imagine I blow this lead. That would be absolutely awful. Get it out to Jalen Johnson. I think we should be able to blow by Stephon Castle. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, God. Okay, somehow that went in. Even though that was way away from green, we still got a layup there with Jalen Johnson. Let's go. De'Aaron Fox has the ball guarded by Jalen Johnson. What's he going to do with it here? He passes it up to Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox with a wide open lane. My defense is not the best. I am trying to get better. Hopefully I will soon here. Let's see if we can hit a midi here. Oh god, turnover. I really am trash at this. And De'Aaron Fox, oh god, he was about to miss, but someone tipped it in. Of course, Keldon Johnson jumps over our 7-footer somehow. Let's get the ball to our boy Jalen Johnson. Wide open ricochet, and that should be in. And yes, it is. 139 to 120, 32 seconds remaining. Let's see what else we could do here. We got a bucket with Johnson. We got a bucket with ricochet. Let's see if we can get one with Jamal Murray next. Victor Wembanyama, and he hits that. Okay, not much defense played on him, so he was basically wide open. But now I want to see if we can hit a shot here with Jamal Murray. Let's get a screen set from somebody. Okongwu with a screen set, wide open midi, and Jamal Murray sadly goes on to miss, but we get our own rebound. Pass that back to Jamal Murray. Let's get another screen set here and see what we could do. Oh god. Please, please. Aw, I kind of screwed that up there and then. I'm sorry about that. I tried my best to get a bucket with Jamal Murray, but sadly we were not able to do that. But at least we go on to win ourselves a championship. Let's go. There goes Victor Wembanyama and his team crying their way out of the arena because they lost the championship and we won it. And there it is, the NBA championship trophy being handed to Jalen Johnson from Adam Silver. Let's go. We go on to win the Atlanta Hawks a championship. Let's see who's going to be the finals MVP. It should be Jalen Johnson for sure. And there you have it, the finals MVP, Jalen Johnson. That is what I'm talking about. I'll show you guys the player stats for the playoffs here in just a second. We have won the Atlanta Hawks a championship, and Jalen Johnson goes on to win finals MVP, averaging 28 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, while shooting 61% from the field. Let's see how our players did here in Game 7. So Murray led the way with 38 points, 23 from ricochet, and Jalen Johnson had himself a 23-point double-double. And before I end out this video, let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 21 games, and in those 21 games, the leading scorer was Jamal Murray, averaging 30 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Then we had Jalen Johnson, who was averaging 28 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists while shooting 57% from the field. He was also averaging 1 block and 1 steal. I'm glad we traded for Jamal Murray. We needed ourselves another consistent scorer, and Jamal Murray helped us a ton. 18 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 15 from Ricochet, and 13 from Okongwu as our 6th man. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 7 games, and the leading scorer was Jamal Murray, averaging 32 points per game and 9 assists, almost 10 assists per game. 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists from Jalen Johnson. 19 from Na, 15 from Ricochet, and 14 from Okongwu. And I'm also really glad we traded for Via Zubac. He helped us out a ton here in the playoffs, offensively and defensively. I would like to give a huge shout out to my boy Masoud. He has been requesting for me to make this Atlanta Hawks rebuild with Kuminga on the team, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Now that's going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That really does support out the channel and video a ton. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.